Y'all know what time it is. It is time to discuss the weekly Danmachi news. And, well, we don't have a huge amount this week. There is some stuff we need to discuss. First things first, new Heroic Trial. If you guys don't know, there's 2 Heroic Trials leaving tomorrow. You got to make sure you finish them up. I never really talked about them, unfortunately. If you guys want some last-minute videos on them, let me know in the comments, and I'll get those out this evening. But new Heroic Trial only coming, and these are for some older units. Those are arguably still viable-ish. And it's hard to tell anymore with the power creep, but anymore, I'm wondering why they drop a lot of these. Just because, in my personal opinion, a lot of these units just don't have a huge amount of use. Maybe I'm underestimating these two. These two actually still probably pretty good. Maybe I'm underestimating them. But in fact, I think I actually used her recently. I know Tiona's really, because the more I'm thinking about it, that's the Thunder Tiona. I was thinking it was a much older one, but no, this is about a year behind-ish. You know, so they're not the greatest, but they're still functional. But you know, if you keep up with these, worst case scenario, if you just don't even want to max these units out anymore, you absolutely can just at least farm Dobe from this, so it's not a bad deal either way. And of course, as you guys know, we have a Familia Rush coming in this week. This new Familia Rush is going to be all about these the plant killers. Okay, so, and we'll cover this again on Thursday, but for now, Viola's enemy number 1, plant killer is effective when physical attack is effective. So, as predicted, you know, the crossover units are going to be really good here. Enemy skills, decrease strength, and magic. That's about it. This is when physical attacks are effective, attackers with plant killer, like the Tempestuous Blade Eyes. I didn't pull that banner, and I'm probably not going to be honest. So we could probably find some ways around that. But the Execution of Minot are recommended. So if you don't have Eyes, but you do have Minot, there you go. You should be pretty good off. Assists will increase when attack damage and heal HP and MP, such as last one Akari, or a lost one Akari. Sorry, are helpful. You'll be able to aim for a high score with Minot's additional action that removes status debuffs. So that's really nice. As I said, if you hit the crossover banner, you'll be in good shape for these. Enemy number 2, plant killer. It was once again effective. Water, thunder, and earth physical attacks. So water, thunder, and earth physical attacks are effective. That's an interesting choice. Interesting choice. Decrease damage received, attack all targets. Allies increase strength, agility, and physical resist. You'll notice that physical resist is down 30, magic resist is up 40. We didn't even talk about that over here, but it's pretty obvious. Like, it was, you know, it was what it was. So fire, light, and dark are neutral. Wind is up 60, so you definitely want to avoid using magic or wind. Earth, water, and thunder are all 3 actually at minus 40, so all are going to be about neutral. And we got some pretty good teams for those, so that'll be interesting. That'll be pretty interesting. Enemy uses effects that reduce damage. Noble Hardana Kitty, Elgum Roar Gareth, and Executioner Assistant Momo. That's the Momo that we're going to be getting that evening. Can remove enemy effects and reduce turns, as well as have effective elements and killer skills, so you can fight effectively without reducing your damage, which is nice. Once again, we'll talk about these in a little bit more detail on Thursday before they drop. I remember it is Familia Rush, it's not Royale, so basically it's a raid boss event. So if once you beat enemy 1, you go immediately into enemy number 2, then into enemy number 3, and it's a raid boss. Everybody in your Familia is like basically expected to participate. So enemy rush number 3, of course, single target. Spirit killer this time is effective, not plant. Spirit killer is effective. Thunder magic attack is also effective. Allies increase strength and magic. Physical resist, magic resist. Enemies remove status buff. I'm going to gather if you probably have the team that's effective in the current Record Buster, which actually I don't have, hilariously. This Record Buster I'm not doing very well on. But if you have that team, you should be good to go. Thunder single target magic attacks are effective. The enemy uses skills to buff their status. Turbulent Temper Tiona uses a skill that increases damage when the target has strength or magic resistance buffs. So you can use their buffs against them to get a higher score, which is really nice. We talked about that before, and I really love that skill. The downside is super sucks, but the real downside to that is, honestly, you're not going to use it terribly often. It's going to be like, I can only think of maybe once or twice that I've actually dusted off the old Tiona that does it. And now we have, this new Tione that does it, and it is what it is. So you can use their buffs against them to get a higher score. Pay attention to your status, and be sure to reapply buffs once they get removed. So buffs will get removed. So that's Familia Rush. Like I said, we'll rehash that on Thursday. Also on Thursday, not Wednesday, I actually have a Twitter poll going right now whether you guys want to see a stream here on Wednesday night like we usually do, or if you want to relocate it this week to Thursday so we can talk about this banner when it drops. It seems to be a popular option, so we will probably not be live streaming Danmachi tomorrow night. I'll probably replace it with one of the other games that hasn't gotten a lot of love lately, and unfortunately. So tomorrow night's stream will probably not be Danmachi, but I would, if you guys want to come in, at least hang out for a little bit and talk, we'll definitely be streaming tomorrow night. We'll probably save the Danmachi stream for Thursday. At least that's the way it currently appears to be. But same as last time, all even pulls are guaranteed 4-star. All odd pulls are half price with the exception of the first one, which is free. So a really nice banner. If you got any luck on the previous banner, you pretty much know what to expect with this one. I'm hoping my luck is at least on par with last time, because I did really, even if the video messed up, I did really well in these banners. So I'm hoping for something at least remotely close to that. I maxed everybody. Once the heroic trial was done, everybody maxed. Everybody maxed. It's so nice. So Momo, let's talk about Momo real quick. So she does have a really good HP count. Her HP count is really nice. Physical attack, like I said last week, is really, really, really good too. 2115 is very respectable. Her agility is really spectacular. If not the fastest in the game, definitely not the fastest in the game, but definitely right up there. Like, she's really, really, really good. And even her endurance is really nice. So very, very well-rounded unit in the numbers. But let's check out her skills, okay? Skill 1 is a 53 MP cost. Allies, strength and agility plus 35%. So all allies get strength and agility 35%. That's nice. For 4 turns, self, strength and agility 75%. Ooh, she's speed demon. She definitely speed demon. For 4 turns and 3 additional actions, foes plural, lower physical attack with ultra on guard rate. That pretty much means for as long as that agility buff is in play, she's going first. In very, 9 out of 10 situations, she's definitely going first. Skill number 2 is a 61 MP cost. Fast, high earth physical attack. High penetration rate, skill damage plus 35% per foe, strength, agility, and physical resistance buff. So here's the thing. If your opponent has a strength buff, you're getting 30%. If they have a strength buff on assist side, you get 60%. If they have an agility buff, you get another 30%. That could be 60, that could be 90. If they have strength and agility on both adventure and assist, you're now up to 120. That means you have a potential 180% buff. And actually, I think I did the math on this, and I'd really have to go verify this. Somebody actually might be able to verify it. I don't remember if anybody did in the last video or not, where I talked about this. But I believe even because now you've got the additional actions that assists can take, and those count separately, this might even be, instead of, doubled up, this could be in triplicate in the perfect scenario. Not many scenarios you're going to see that, but in the perfect scenario, it may very well be. So this all is very interesting to me. Most of the time you're going to see 90% out of this in any kind of PvE experience. But PvP, those numbers could get crazy. So if you're a Wargame main, you really want this unit over anybody else in these banners. You really want her. Remove strength, agility, and physical resistance buffs. In other words, once she utilizes that to buff herself, then she basically takes that away. The downside of that is she doesn't get that damage on the next turn, unless they rebuff, which they most likely will. But she's so fast, it won't matter. She's not going to... Basically, she's going to hit them really hard on turn 2. If she doesn't kill them, turn 3 will definitely do them in, even without the buff. But it is what it is. Skill 3, and the really nice part about this is she hits so early. Odds are pretty good, depending on how they have their units set in Wargame. Once she removes that buff, they're not going to hit you on turn 2. They're going to go for the rebuff. And most rebuff attacks really aren't those hard-hitting attacks. So it'd be the equivalent of her using skill 1 on turn 2 instead of skill 2. So if you can kind of see there, if she's the first out of the gate, she's going to be absolutely deadly on turn 2. Skill 3 is a foe singular super earth physical attack with ultra on guard rate, skill damage 70% per self strength buff. And since that is a self, you are in control of that. That means she's going to be very good even in a record buster situation, single target situations, where you're going to buff strength on both the adventure and the assist side anyway, so you're going to get a 140% out of that. That is stellar. She's really good for record buster. She's really good for a war game. She is a really solid unit no matter what. This unit is going to be good past the anniversary and for quite a bit of time. Compared to the other 2 units we got, which I think are going to be short-lived, I think she's definitely going to shine above many units that we've had in the game recently. I think she's going to show her worth for a really long time. She might not be the best, but she'll definitely be worthy, and she'll definitely be someone you periodically go, oh, yeah. Dust her off, put her in a team, and watch her work. She's going to be a lot of fun to use, and she's going to work in so many different respects of the game. Sorry. I'll gush about her a little bit more in tomorrow's Before You Summon video, even though the banners are coming out on Thursday night. I'm still going to drop the video tomorrow just so you guys have some time to ponder that, because there's a lot to consider here, especially with Familia Rush incoming. So, her SA is a foe's plural ultra earth physical attack with ultra and guard rate, great temporary strength boost, and earth resist down 40%. You're probably not ever going to use this, to be honest with you. If you're going to put her on a Record Buster team, you're honestly going to utilize her basically as a turn 3 damage producer, and that's kind of about it. She's definitely not going to be an SA unit. She's going to be like, Light Lily and those types of units where they're really utilized for their stellar skill 3s, and that's kind of about it. And that's like specifically talking about a Record Buster situation. You're not going to use her SA most of the time. There's going to be extremely rare circumstances, and even then it's like, I'm sorry, 60%. It's down 60%, not 40%. 60%. I don't know why I said 40%. But either way, like, you're going to use it, but there's probably better units of the game to utilize for that, and you'd use it just for the debuff, and that's kind of be it. Anyway, 35% thunder resist counters are earth physical attack, strength, agility, dex 35%. Once again, more agility buffing. She's a speed demon. 20% damage on penetration, 15% physical and magic resistance, and a plant killer. You really want this unit. She's phenomenal. Let's talk about Hestia real quick. HP is really good. Physical and magic both leave a little something to be desired, as does agility. And this is where I said last week, where I'm like, Hestia leaves a bit to be desired just in the solid numbers. But let's look at her skills. She'll shorten physical resistance, magic resistance, fire, water, thunder, earth, wind, light, dark resistance debuffs by 4 turns. So, any debuffs that are applied to you, she will shorten those by 4 turns. The nice part about this is a unit that you put on the back line. You definitely don't put her on the front line. You put her on the back line, wait for her to come in on turn like 2 or 3, and any debuffs that are on your team, she'll basically wipe out. She shortens them all by 4 turns, which basically means that on the turn she comes into play, they are most likely gone. It's going to be a rare situation where they're not. 3 instant effects when attacked, 50% HP heal, can happen once per turn. So in other words, because there's 3 effects, that's 3 turns she can heal. So, heal is for all allies, it seems. All allies. So, that basically means whenever the unit that she's applied to is attacked, then everybody gets that heal. And that's a 50% heal. That's a really solid heal. So basically, every unit on your team becomes invulnerable for 3 turns. I think that's even better, personally, than her other skill. That skill makes her an insane asset, and she's going to be really solid on stall teams. So if you're building a stall team while her HP does leave a little bit to be desired and all her other effects leave a bit to be desired, that skill is going to be just... And you will still want to put her backline because, once again, on a stall team, you probably want to bring that in later game. You don't want to show your cards on the forefront. But once again, I don't run the stall meta, so it's, I'm speculating there. But common sense would dictate at least. So that's pretty much that. We are getting a heroic trial, like I said, for these 2 units. So hopefully you do like I did last week. Max one out, get an extra, and then get the other one to +4, and then use your heroic trial and get the final bond. That's what I'm hoping for everybody watching out there, especially those of you that hit me up last week and just got absolutely boned on those on those summons, man. I feel you. I've had some really terrible luck in this game in the past few summons. Last week's summons were stellar, so I'm hoping that everybody else, including myself, because it's the thing, get that luck once again this week. So there you guys go. So the long and the short of it, Wargame is incoming this week. We didn't really talk about that, but it is held as a prelim for FWG, so you do want to make sure that you're active in it. Remember, Record Buster goes away tonight, so make sure you set in those scores. 7th Zone will be live as well. We get a new 7th Zone. Make sure you finish up the other ones, because once again, they're gone tonight. Then on Thursday, the Executioner and the Crossroads Tale Part 2 and Battle 2 of EX Mission, the Executioner and the Crossroads Gotcha, Aid Heroic Trials, and Familia Rush all drop on Thursday. So make sure you are aware of that. And like I said, it looks like I not guaranteed, but according to the Twitch poll Twitter poll that I put up, very different situation there. It looks like we'll probably be summoning these or streaming these summons. So we'll probably be live Thursday night instead of Wednesday this week, just for that specific situation. But for now, that is going to be the video. If you want to participate in the poll, there's a Twitter link down below. Make sure you follow the Twitter and all that good stuff, because I don't pimp my socials very well at all. Also the Discord and all that good stuff. Like, comment, share. I'll catch y'all on the next one.